Shabbat Shalom. So we're going to start with a story that is a kind of a kid's story. I remember hearing it at camp. It's either from Chelm or Chabad or wherever, depending on who you ask. And we're going to start with the kids' part, but it's going to get deeper by the end. So the story, depending on how you dress it, is about a village somewhere in Eastern Europe where a king or a rebbe or someone is coming to visit. And so the townspeople want to throw a party. And the way they want to, parties are great, right? Says the crowd over here. And so they decide the best way to, have a party, obviously, you need to have some wine to do some kiddush, just kiddush, of course, and that they need. But not everyone in the village has, or they have a little, and so what they decide to do, I'm sure we've heard this story before. They put a barrel in the center of town, and they say, everybody bring whatever wine you have, and pour it in the barrel, and then when the king comes, or the rebbe, or the senator, or whoever it is, we will have ourselves a l'chaim that is sort of for the whole town because we're all going to bring our wine together. And so people are pouring their bottles of wine into the giant barrel, and one person thinks, I'm smarter than everybody else here. Everyone's putting wine in this. Wine's kind of expensive. You know what's not expensive? Grape juice. You know what looks just like wine? Grape juice. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pour grape juice in. It looks just like wine. Oh yeah, I'm contributing, everybody. So they pour in their grape juice thinking, I'm so much smarter than everyone else. So eventually, the day for the party arrives. The king or the rebbe or the senator, whoever it is, shows up. Everyone in the town is gathered. They all take the barrel. They're pouring out cups for everyone. Everybody gets some. It's a big party. All right. Everyone's ready for their l'chaim. The king makes the bracha. They all drink. And of course, it's all grape juice. Because everybody thought the same thing that one guy did. I'll bring some grape juice. Everyone else is going to bring wine. And no one will miss my little, bottle of wine that didn't get put in there. And they ended up with a barrel of completely grape juice. Now this story, which is a great, fun kid story about, how we all have to try our best or we all have to do something, is really actually quite deep. And it's important, and its origins start in the parsha this morning. Because the parsha that we read this morning is, first of all, one of my favorites in the entire Torah, right, Naomi? It's like the best. Because this parsha is essentially where we're driving down the highway of great narrative stories, we got like Cain and Abel, you got Noah, you got Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, you got Moses and Joseph, and then it's sort of like screech. We pull out the brakes on, and we're gonna talk about arcs and poles and rods and drapes, and we're gonna talk details for a while right now, and it could get a little bit dry or boring. So the rabbis all ask this question so why do we need to bring up all of this right now? And one of our commentaries says a sort of a beautiful thing. Reads that this parsha has to come after what happened in the desert and after the laws that were given at Sinai, because the people needed a place to do all the stuff that they've been taught to do in the last few parshas of the rules. And Maimonides goes even further on this and says, does God need a traveling tent with an altar and sacrifices and all of that? Does God need that to survive? I didn't mean to point right to you. Can't you? No is the right answer. Of course, that's why I'm asking this question. No, God doesn't need it. Who needed it? The people. The people needed it because think about what they've been through in the last few chapters. They were slaves. They got out of Egypt with miracles and plagues and death, and they walked through the Red Sea, and they've had manna rain down from heaven because they thought they were going to starve. Then they got the Torah, and they're told that there's all this stuff that they have to do, but they have a promised land that they're going to get to. There's a lot going on. And the people need something that can hold all of the hope and the despair, all of the love, and all of the fear that they've been feeling over the last few years with everything. And the Mishkan is built to do just that. It is a place that people bring with them in the desert, and they can look to, and they can say, oh, God is still with us because we have this thing right here. If they're afraid, they know it's there. If they feel like they have to do something, oh, I made a mistake, or oh, I'm impure, or oh, I want to pray, it gives them a place to go to do that. It's the vessel that holds their emotion. And the rabbinic genius, which I know we've talked about before, the rabbinic genius was that after the destruction of the temple, they made that exact same system portable for all of us. Because while we didn't get out of Egypt recently, everyone in this room also is full of hope and despair, fear and love. We have a lot going on in our lives, and we need a place to bring that, and we need something to hold that. And this room and these rituals are that place for us. Think about some of the rituals we've created in the last 6 months. After October 7th, I see some people wear the dog tag for the hostages. We set aside a place for the hostages. We added a prayer for the hostages because people need a place to go with their fear and with their desire to do something. And we hold that. We create, through all of our rituals, a place for us to rest, and that's called Shabbat. A place for us to stop, a place for us to come together, a place for us to take our need for community, our need for belonging, and to hold it here in this space. And now we come back to our story of the barrel of the wine and grape juice. Because there's actually something special about this that is a bit of a two-way street. So one of our great storytelling rabbis, by the way, the Hasidic rabbi known as the Maggid of Dubno, means the storyteller from a town called Dubno. On this parsha, he tells a story that he thinks can explain exactly what's going on with the Mishkan and the building of this. He says, so it's like a wealthy person who buys their child a really nice leather wallet. I guess that was a great gift back in 17th century Poland that wealthy people gave their kids. So the wealthy person's son has this really nice leather wallet. They're so excited. They go to school. They're showing it off to everybody. And there's a kid in class who really wants one also. And so he saves up every penny that he can to try to get himself a wallet. And his father sees him saving and not spending anything and denying himself stuff. And he says, son, what's going on? And he goes, oh, I want a really nice wallet, that the same kind that David has over there. And his father turns to him and says, son, even if you could save enough to get that wallet, you won't have anything to put in it. So too, says the Maggid of Dubno, is the Mishkan. We build this beautiful structure, this beautiful thing that brings God's presence into the people, that we bring our sacrifices to. But, says the Maggid, if we don't do all the other stuff first, if we don't do the Mishpatim and the Sinai and make ourselves into holy vessels, which, by the way, we're also told to do in this week's Parsha, Va'asuli Mikdash v'shechanti betocham. He says, Va'asuli Mikdash, we all need to make a Mishkan, a Mikdash, a holy structure, but a place for God to dwell, because otherwise we don't have anything to put in this holy structure. So, everyone here has things they can bring. With Naomi, we already talked about this. Everyone has unique gifts that they can bring into creating this holy structure that we're all building together. But we all have to build something. We all have to bring something. Now, the brilliance of the Rebbe and the wine barrel is it's actually okay to rely on the community sometimes. We can't all do it, or we end up with grape juice. But sometimes we just don't have enough wine to bring to the communal party. And that's why we all share together. So if you're feeling a little bit spiritually bereft, it's okay to show up here and to take some from someone else. Right? We're all here singing. You can gain. You can bring something, or you can take something. Right now, our bima, our mishkan that we've created, to forgive the analogy, it's a little bit like the gas station, take a penny, leave a penny, but for your soul. Everyone here needs to bring something. If you have it, bring some of your spirit, bring some singing. Even if you don't know the words, guys, you can hum, you can sing along with the tunes. Bring something to the community. Lead a class, teach something. Whatever you can do, you got to bring. And then there are times where it's okay to not have anything and to come and to take a class. Be uplifted by the singing of someone else. Just be here together. Because that is the way that we will create this holy structure that will be a place where we can both celebrate together, we can bring what we have and be seen for whom we are, and also we can be buoyed by others when we need to only bring a little bit of grape juice and drink someone else's wine. That's okay too. But, as I said to Naomi, the most important thing is you got to show up. Shabbat Shalom.